Hi, it's Adam here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to extract 35mm film onto a spiral that we can put into our Patterson tank in order to develop it. First thing that we should do is always make sure our hands are clean and dry and that we don't have any sweat or grease or whatever on our fingers, because it's really easy to get fingerprints on your film which later show up in your scans or in your prints, and it can just ruin the shot sometimes. Okay, so after we've done that, if you need to, extract the leader from your film and then trim off the leader with a pair of scissors. So you've got a nice smooth edge like I've got here. The reason for this is that we need to get rid of the leader before we try to put it onto the spiral, but this also just gives you a visual indicator that this film has been exposed, particularly if you're just going to put it in your bag or in storage for a little while. You've got a visual indicator the film has been exposed and that you shouldn't put it back in your camera. Alright, so it's really easy. It was a little bit tricky for me the first time, and I'm hoping that this will help people out. On our spiral, just find the two little ball bearings which are near this little entry groove here. So you find some ball bearings there. Take your film, mat side up, and just slide it in through the little groove. Pull out just a little bit, no more than really what's necessary, because remember, we've got images on the film, we don't want to expose them to light. And just slide this over the ball bearings. About that much is enough. What I then like to do is just make one gentle test rotation on the spiral. And what we do is we just get our thumbs about here and we just gently start extracting the film. And you'll see that's coming out of the reel really easily, and that's going onto the spiral. If you reach this point, I would definitely stop here, because you might well be getting into images that you've exposed on the film. This is the time to put your spiral, your scissors and your Patterson tank all into your dark bag and to continue the process. But for this video, just to show you what we should be doing inside the dark bag, I'm just going to extract this complete roll of expired film onto the spiral. Now, the reason we actually use a spiral is to make sure that developer can reach every part of the film. If we just were to shove the film into the Patterson tank, obviously bits of the film could be touching each other and could be touching the sides of the tank, and developer just wouldn't come into contact with the film and the film wouldn't get developed. That's why we put it onto a spiral. So what we tend to do inside the bag is just extract a little bit of the film like that, and just very gently just keep pushing it around the spiral like so. It should be a very easy process. If you're using an older second-hand spiral, they can be a bit stiff sometimes. I recommend just jumping onto eBay or going down your camera store, getting a new one. They're not expensive. So it's just really this motion. For a 36 roll of film, this should normally only be about a 3 or 4 minute process. You know that it's going onto the spiral properly if you don't feel any resistance and it continues just to smoothly go around. One of the things which I often found was actually, it's generally easier to load a 24 roll onto a spiral, because you do tend to get a bit of resistance towards the end. And if ever you reach some resistance or it feels like the film has actually come off of the spiral or something's just not working, the best thing to do is gently lift up the film from the spiral, remove it from the grooves, and then just manually rewind it back into the canister. Once it's fully back inside the canister, take everything out the bag and start again. Have a bit of patience. Never ever tug on the film you might end up ripping it, and obviously that'll just ruin things for you. So don't do that. Once you reach the end of the film reel, it's always very, very tempting just to try and pull the canister off of the film. As soon as I know that I'm at the very end, I just very, very carefully trim that off. You'll notice the film does something like this. So that's easy. We just keep moving that around the spiral until we can feel that it's no longer sticking up. Okay. Once your film is on the spiral, and bearing in mind you should be doing all of this inside your black bag. I've now ruined this film by doing this. Just feel to make sure that your film is on the bottom spiral. If you've got a double spiral, if you're going to load up another roll of film, fantastic. But always make sure that you put it in bottom first. Drop that into your Patterson tank. Seal up the tank in the bag. And then you can take it all out of the bag and you can start dropping in your chemicals.